guys, this is basically going to be like my wish list for 2021, so those things in K-pop that I really want to happen. It's kind of random, but it would make me really happy if all of these came true. Let me know in the comments if you agree with these, or what your own wish lists for 2021 are for your favorite groups, or even for the industry as a whole. Timestamps for each of my wishes will be in the description. But before we get started, let me tell you about today's sponsor, Kloopbox. If you didn't know, Kloopbox is a place where you can get boxes of K-pop merch at a fantastic price. There's shirts, keychains, hats, basically anything you could think of that could have your faves logos on them. Recently, they've added the ability to get official albums in your box as well. If all of those sound good to you, use the link in my description or in my latest community post to head over and use code axiestan for 5% off. Now, without further ado, the first thing I want for K-pop in 2021 is... So, you're probably thinking that this would be incredibly bad for the industry, since if BigHit owned every company, they'd basically have a monopoly, which stifles the creativity and innovation that the competition encourages. And you're totally right, that definitely would happen, and that's why I can't really explain my logic for why I want BigHit to take over. I think there are two main reasons. The first is that BigHit the company has a very interesting story. They basically started from the bottom, and due to the massive success of BTS, it has become one of, if not the largest K-pop company. The more BigHit grows, the more extreme that underdog story gets, and that's very impressive to me. The second reason I want this to happen is simply because it's very entertaining to me. If I could, I would run a betting pool for which company BigHit is going to buy next, and how much more money they'll make now that they own it. From what I've seen so far, every group in the companies that BigHit has bought has seen a huge amount of growth, especially internationally since they were under BigHit. And that's not to say that these groups wouldn't have gotten this recognition without BigHit, but I think the company name, connections, and resources give them all a slight leg up. A lot of the groups I like are more famous domestically, but I want them to grow internationally, so I feel like if BigHit owned their companies, that would get a bit easier for them. Even groups that are more popular internationally to begin with could get a boost. BigHit is just such an interesting company to me, and if I could audition to be a K-pop idol, I would definitely try auditioning for them. I don't even stan any BigHit groups, but just as a company, their constant drive to expand is interesting to me. Like, take for example Weverse. I really thought Weverse was gonna flop when it was first announced because I didn't think people would be willing to switch to an entirely new platform just to see a couple of groups. But thanks to the sheer popularity of those groups, a lot of people joined, and then that led more groups to join. The fact that artists under companies with zero relation to BigHit are starting to join Weverse is just very cool to me. I think that shows the platform's potential. I mean, a K-pop company making a whole new social media platform? That's so cool. Granted, currently it is based around K-pop artists only, but it could very well expand in the future. This wish of mine is brought on by the fact that the show recently changed their voting criteria in a way that would lessen the influence of international fans' votes, which made it harder for groups with a mostly international fanbase to get wins. I do think that they're planning to change it back to how it was before, but not before groups like Dreamcatcher, who have a mostly international fanbase, had their promotional periods end. I don't know why the show suddenly changed their criteria like that, but I think the reason might have been because they wanted to raise their ratings on Korean TV, since more Koreans would watch the show if their votes were more important. But I think this goes to show that international fans are just not seen as legit as Korean ones, and that's so ridiculous to me. There is so much money to be made internationally. I mean, I just talked about BigHit, like, there's a reason why they made the most money last year. The show might have even higher viewership and income if they charged international viewers to watch a live stream instead. Even though the show tried to discount the influence of international fans, I think the fact that they changed the voting criteria back as soon as people started to complain shows that the influence of international fans is starting to grow. Like, they tried to lower it, but they couldn't. And as K-pop groups become more popular internationally and release chart-topping and award-winning songs, they'll have no choice but to value international fan opinion more. So I think that is what will lead to my wish coming true. If music shows start paying more attention to international fans, the groups that we love will start getting their first wins too. Honestly, the current state of it is ridiculous. Like, you're telling me that Dreamcatcher, with almost 50,000 first-day sales, is losing to groups with half of that? Of course they are, because all those sales are international, and so it's like they don't exist. Look, I don't even stand Dreamcatcher, but it still seems unfair to me. I wouldn't be mad if international fans never gave any money to K-pop companies and music shows, but the fact of the matter is that they do, and I think that that's worth some attention. Maybe companies don't want to push their groups internationally because it's expensive and unfamiliar, but looking at all the success stories, it can't be such a bad idea. There are so many groups that, based on the numbers, should be getting more recognition and getting their first wins. I hope that in 2021, they can succeed like their fans are wishing for. Right now, like off the top of my head, I can only think of 3 co-ed groups: KARD, Checkmate, and Triple H. I'm sure there has been more in the past that I just can't think of right now, but those are probably long enough ago that the idols in them are no longer active. Anyways, of the 3 groups I mentioned, Triple H is disbanded, and Checkmate seems to be modeled on KARD's early releases. Not much choice for fans there, especially if you don't like the sort of stuff that KARD and Checkmate put out. Now, I understand that when there's so few groups of this type, you can't really expect there to be much variety in them, so I'm not faulting the groups themselves for that. But that's exactly why my wish is for there to be many co-ed groups, because if there were, they would have to try to do things differently in order to make themselves stand out. The thing about a co-ed group that makes people pay attention to them should not be the fact that they are a co-ed group. It should be stuff like their music and concept, what makes someone check out regular girl groups and boy groups. I really want to stan a co-ed group, but since I don't vibe with either KARD's or Checkmate's styles, I haven't been able to. I would love to see a cute concept co-ed group, though I doubt that will ever happen because K-pop stans would start shipping them like crazy. I can just picture it. The group debuts, and right away, Korean netizens start saying it's inappropriate because they're too young, and then they'll become the token group for international fans to stan. But those international fans won't ever truly stan them because this co-ed group is still too different for them. I think we have a long ways to go before co-ed groups are as common as girl groups and boy groups, since fans of all nationalities really need to get over themselves first. But I can still fervently wish for it, so here I am. I'm not really sure how to describe what I mean, but basically I mean those songs that talk about how swag the singer is, like pretty much every itzy song, for example. The group will go on and on about how cool they are and about how you would want them because they're so cool, or how you suck and you're so down low compared to how cool they are, and at a certain point it gets to be really boring. I've seen so many that at this point the lyrics just write themselves. I'm not hating on having self-confidence here, but I think that songs like these are overhyped because at least for me, they're not as confidence-inspiring as everyone seems to think. These idols are already good-looking, rich, famous, they have perfect hair, makeup, and styling. When they're telling me how cool they are, I can't help but just think that, yeah, I already knew you were cool. It is literally your job to be something that normal people can't be. You're the standard of perfection, and that's not going to change. And yet, here you are singing about how everyone wants to be you, as if that wasn't already obvious. It doesn't help me be confident to hear about how these people who have everything I want are confident. Now, what I would rather have is songs about how these idols overcame their struggles, or songs about how I can be confident, addressed to the listener specifically. Songs that talk about the singer's struggles to achieve self-confidence and how they overcame those struggles are very inspiring to me because it shows that even though the idol seems to have everything that one could want, they got there through hard work and it's not all perfect like it seems. And then songs that are telling me that I can be confident help me because, well, that's kind of what they're all about. I think the K-pop industry got caught up in being all flashy with the audience that they forgot that people actually look to these songs to mean something. It doesn't detract from the musical value to have a song with lyrics that don't do as advertised, but if a group is making lyrics that I like, I'm more likely to be interested in them beyond the surface level that these I'm so cool songs provide. When I say that I dislike these self-confident songs, people always come back at me with, but do you want all songs to be about love then? You do realize that you can write songs about more than 2 things, right? There's so many things in the world that a K-pop group could make a song about, but all you fans are like, oh, it's either love or how cool you are, and that's the only 2 things. No, you sound dumb, okay? You're probably wondering why I stan itzy then, and honestly, this is the one thing about them that I really dislike. I think that Not Shy was a step in a different direction because it looked at self-confidence in the context of love, and I thought that was really cool. I hope to see more stuff like that in the future. You can keep your theme of self-confidence without sacrificing meaning, and I hope itzy and other groups like them realize that in 2021. I'm sure you know that due to a certain worldwide event that I cannot actually mention in the video or the YouTube algorithm will come for me, it has been impossible to have actual real-life concerts. This has made me kind of mad because I actually had tickets for an idol concert and they were really good tickets too, but then it got cancelled because of you know what. At first, I was super angry that I was missing out on opportunities to see my faves live, but as the year progressed, I realized that this is kind of a good thing. I'm lucky to live in a place that K-pop groups invariably come to on their tours, but most of the world isn't that lucky, so I think that online concerts provide a way to see these performances wherever you are. Online concerts also allow for more creativity in the set design and track list. Now, I've never actually paid for an online concert, so I might not be the best person to talk to you about this, but being the immoral and broke teenager that I am, I have seen quite a few via some less legal means. And from what I've seen, they've all been amazing. I remember the Twice online concert had some really cool animations around the stage. Actually, the SM1 did as well. Oh, and then the Blackpink one had some absolutely amazing set design, even though it wasn't animated. Blackpink wouldn't have been able to cart around all of those props had they been on a real tour, and I got to take a close-up look at all of them since the video was right there. Obviously, an online concert will never replace a real one, but I hope that they continue even when the world is back to normal. It's a different experience for sure, but it's different in the right ways. An online concert is so much easier and cheaper for a group to put on, meaning that even smaller groups can do them, and most importantly, so many more fans worldwide can experience new content from their faves at a not too steep of a price. Again, I'm being hypocritical because I never actually paid for any of these, but I really do think that the prices are worth what you get. I hope my faves do more online concerts in 2021.
Got me feeling like a psycho.
Faves had music videos as outrageously expensive and excessive as Blackpink, I would die a happy stan. See, for me there are two main draws to K-pop, the visuals and the constant flow of content. The constant flow of content part is covered by the fact that I like a lot of groups, so at any point in time one of them is releasing something. And then the visuals part is exactly the sort of excessive music videos I'm wishing for. I love these kinds of music videos because there's so much more for me to look at. Every time I rewatch it, and I guarantee I will be rewatching it a bajillion times, there will be something new for me to spot, even if it's a tiny detail. I see people criticizing music videos like Blackpink, saying they feel factory produced and they aren't genuine, and to those people, I say that I really don't care. If you want a genuine music video like you so claim, go stan other groups, because there are people like me who are the market for this stuff, and I bet that they're gonna keep making it. The reason why I bring this up in the context of my wishes for 2021 is because I think that with K-pop becoming more popular lately, K-pop companies are suddenly going to have a lot of money laying around, and I think that this is the perfect thing to do with it. Even in the Western market, music videos are becoming more important as stan culture becomes more prevalent, so even though music videos have been a staple in K-pop ever since the beginning, they're going to become even more important if that's even possible. Ooh, this is kind of a random thought, but I would be really excited if companies started releasing music videos in general, I guess. K-pop has always had some pretty unique styling and makeup, but I still think that there are more opportunities for experimentation. First of all, we all know that every group's stylists default to that same orangish pinkish eyeshadow when they have no other ideas, or just when they want to have that, innocent image. I feel like bright colors in general are so rare, and if you know a lot about fashion or makeup, maybe you can explain to me in the comments, because I don't see a reason why stylists can't be more creative with the concepts that suit it. A group will have a totally different and bright concept, loud and flashing colors everywhere, but their makeup won't match it at all. One reason I think this might happen is because applying anything other than neutral makeup makes it really obvious that the idols are wearing makeup, which in turn destroys the image that they're so perfect and don't need any adjustments. But in an industry where so many idols talk about how they don't want to show their bare faces, I think it's kinda obvious that they're always wearing makeup, even when it is more minimal. And I know that Korean makeup in general also trends for a more natural look, which also explains the simple makeup on most idols. But like I said in the beginning of the video, the international fanbase of K-pop is growing, and I can't imagine them having a negative reaction to heavier or more experimental makeup. Oh, what I wouldn't give for an idol to have neon eyeliner to match their neon outfit. K-pop as an industry has pushed so many boundaries when it comes to styling, music videos, and marketing, and I feel like this is the one thing that they have yet to break through. I'm not sure if 2021 is the year that it will happen, but I really, really hope it is. I don't care what group it is or which idol it is, I just want it to happen really badly. The reason for this is what K-pop fans have been saying for a long time. We need to normalize K-pop idols dating. And the best place for that to start is at the top, since if really famous idols start dating, then the less famous ones will realize it's okay and they'll start too, and after a long time with this happening, it won't be such a scandal when an idol is dating someone, or even when they're dating another idol. I think it will always have some sort of announcement since even American celebrities have a big deal made when they're dating someone, but it'll be less of a controversy and more of an excitement sort of thing. Now, an interesting development is that when I started writing the script, the dating news about Jennie and Gdragon hadn't been released yet, so I'm not sure if that event counts as a fulfillment of my wish or not. It did make me reconsider my wish, actually, because seeing how Dispatch basically stalked them for a whole year in order to come to the conclusion that they were dating, I felt bad that their privacy was violated like that in order to deliver this news. In an ideal world, they both would have felt comfortable making it public themselves, when they were ready. Jennie is definitely one of the most famous K-pop idols, ever, so if you would all put down the pitchforks about who she is dating for a split second, isn't it a good thing that she is? Of all idols who could make a splash, she's the one. I admit that I know literally nothing about Gdragon himself, so if you have any relevant details, please share, but from what I know, he's obviously also pretty famous, so if we once again ignore who he is dating, it is kinda nice to see that it's happening in the first place. Of course, all of this is assuming that the relationship is even real. Granted, Dispatch is not known for doing fake reveals because of defamation laws and stuff, but still, we can't say for certain based on a bunch of blurry pictures. Anyways, from what I've seen, basically everyone is talking about their relationship, but still, this is somehow less of a reaction than I expected. You're probably curious what I think about it all, but to be honest, I myself don't really have an opinion on their relationship since, it's their business. I'll just support them with whatever decisions they end up making. A lot of the reaction from other people seems to be based on characteristics of the couple like their age gap, rather than because of the fact that the idols are dating at all, which in my opinion is a step in the right direction, even though the reaction is negative. It's negative for, less weird reasons. Baby steps, guys, baby steps. With that being said, that is going to be all for this video. Let me know what you think of these. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And tell me your own wish list as well. I love reading comments from you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye guys, and I'll see you in the next one.